Hi everybody, Dr. Hopewell and Dr. Lynn here. We want to provide a follow-up from the video you just watched on the MSCI and the MED handbook for graduate students. And that was with Dr. Pelster and Dr. Lynn. If you have not watched that video, you can stop this video, go back and watch that video, and then come back and finish this video. But what we want to do is provide a little follow-up and some opportunity to understand the context of the choices that you will be faced with in that handbook for your capstone project. So we have several options, and we want to run through each of those and some of the implications for each of those.
Okay, so just to reiterate, in case it's been a little few days or hours since you watched the video with Dr. Leduc Pelster, sorry, um, the distinction that's very important as we work with you as your professor this semester is as you're writing your plan for your research study this semester and before you implement your study next semester is how do you plan to use the findings of your study, especially how if you plan to share what you learn for your study. Good action research is something that you learn something, but we also are interested in how can you contribute to the field of education. So there's two different levels of sharing. One is that you share, you use the information only within your own classroom and share within your district, only within your school district. So you can tell other teachers, you can share the information with your principal, as long as you follow the ethical practices that you'll learn more about later in the semester. The other option is to share publicly, which means you may be looking at doing a conference presentation. That's something that many of our students have selected to do in the past. Or write a CRP, collaborative research publication, in partnership with a faculty member at BH. Or the third option for sharing publicly would be to write a master's thesis. So we wanted to tell you some of the criteria that will help you think through that process. The main thing for you to know is if you're intending to share publicly, either through a conference presentation, writing an article for potential publication, or writing a thesis, that means that you're going to have to do some additional work yourself. And also, it means some additional work on our part and potentially other faculty. So, one of the filters that we've decided to put that through is the only students that can choose one of those three options for and how they plan to share the findings of their study is if you see yourself somewhere along the line taking the path and going on to getting your doctoral degree. If that's part of your professional development plan, those three options are available to you. If getting your doctoral degree is not something that you see in your future, then all of you, in that case, then would be doing either the portfolio or I'm
That would be
missing
the district presentation,
the
the school.
or the professional development presentation. Yes, where you present your findings only to people within your district. So
Yeah. Yeah, so just to kind of recap, you have choices here, and I know that all of you want to shoot for the stars and try and do the best work that you can, but I don't want you to think of these options as low and high. So if you choose the portfolio option, you're somehow choosing less of a workload or in the sense of, accomplishment. The portfolio and or the local professional development options are one path, and that's really probably the most common path that our students take. It doesn't require additional paperwork, and it doesn't require additional commitment from other parties. The regional conference or the national conference, the CRP, the collaborative research publication, that's where you're going to look out and find a journal and submit to that journal for this paper to be published. The thesis option, those are options that are not necessarily better. They're just options for people with different plans for their professional career. So I hope that comes across to you, because we don't want you to feel like the portfolio or the professional development presentation would be somehow, make you feel as though you didn't, do the best you could do.
The key thing is your research study that you're planning this semester going to be implementing next semester in ED 750. You have the opportunity to use it in some way to meet the requirements for your final course, the capstone course. So you're kind of getting a 2-for-1
Yeah.
in the work that you're doing over the next couple of semesters.
Yep. And that capstone class will expect that you have a product from this course, from these two courses put together for that. So at the very minimum, you have to put this in your portfolio. And so so that's something to keep in mind. Now, as for the options where you go down the CRP or the national presentation or the thesis, we just wanted to reiterate to you that that will involve a little bit extra legwork, and we want to know that now. So if you think that's you, if you say, yeah, no, I really think I would like to be, go on to a doctoral program, or I have something that I really want to do this national presentation, let us know. We need to know now with an email. And what we would like to do is look at your idea, look at your plan, and put that through a process of evaluation to find out if this is really the path that we think you should go down.
Okay, so one thing just to clarify, because some of you might be thinking, well, I don't plan on presenting at a national conference. If you share the findings of your study publicly at a local, state, or national with anyone outside your school district, you would need to meet these criteria. So the key thing to know is it'll be extra work on your part if you choose one of those three. You need first to get permission from us and a committee of our faculty that say, yes, this student, it looks like this is someone who is ready to go on and do that additional work. Um, and so it's really important that we know now. If you're just kind of thinking about it, we're not going to have you sign on the dotted line and hold you to it, but it helps us work more progressively with you this semester and help break up the work a little bit for you and for us so that it's practical and realistic.
Yeah. And again, the thing to keep in mind is there are two things at stake here. The one is the participants. It's a different IRB, or Institutional Review Board process, which you'll be learning about. It's a different process if you're going to put this out publicly. Okay, so there's that category, but also the when you do a CRP, that collaborator that you'll work with, the BH faculty, is most likely not one of us. We'll work with you to find someone else to do that publication, probably in your content area. But that's additional work that they're going to need to be committing to. If you're presenting this nationally or in a journal, that's BH, that's the name of Black Hills State University, that's going out as well, which is the need for that additional level of review and conversation. So just want to make that clear. Also, to be clear, we have both had students that have gone on to make a presentation publicly of their research findings in journals and that sort of thing. So it can be done. We're not trying to say that it can't be done. It can be done. It just takes some additional thought.
So hopefully this gives you some information to kind of ponder in your mind. Rather than spending time talking about this with everyone in the coaching session, that's why we want you to connect with us individually so that we can explore those options with you. In a nutshell, one, you think, do I foresee myself pursuing a doctoral degree after I get my master's? Two, am I interested in sharing the findings of my study down the line publicly outside my classroom? And then, if yes to those two questions, three, contact your professor, either Dr. Hopewell or me, Dr. Lynn, so that we can start looking at what that path looks like with you individually. Thanks for your time, and hopefully this was informative to you and helps you with your thinking process.
See you around.